Oh, well. Wally, get over here. Oh, good boy. Good boy, come here. Come here, Wally. Wally, come on. Come here, Wally. Eat, treat. Come on. Come here. Good boy. Okay. All right. We'll try it. I don't know. Can you see me? Hop up. Hop up. Can you see Wally at all? Is he on the
Oh,
camera?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm a babysitter right now. Hi, Deb.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Wally's joining the class, kind of.
Hey, we've done that with our pets. We have done that with our pets, so don't be surprised if there's more that show up.
Oh, Wally would love it. He's a lover boy.
Yeah, mine is big enough I can't get him picked up.
Uh, okay. Well, he's kind of hot, so I might let him down. Down. There he goes. That was a good boy. Good boy. So hopefully you can see me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So it looks
I
like we've
appreciate
got about 10, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 people out of the 15. So hopefully we'll have some more joining us as we
Okay.
move on. But I see your screen is already up. Your
Yeah.
slide. Yeah, that's great.
Okay. So do you want me to kind of I'll let you lead the way, or and maybe we should, or do you want me to kind of
We're having some difficulty in the delay a little bit. It wasn't earlier. Oh, it might be just me. Is anybody else seeing that? Is everything else coming up okay for the students? Yeah, okay, good. It came through that my internet is somewhat unstable, so that might just have been me, my problem. So anyway, we'll go from here. This is Mo Witters, guys. And she is, I'll let you introduce yourself about what your title is, Mo. But she's here to talk to us about mental health. And that has to do with, especially not even, but what we're talking about now. Just to give you a little background, last semester I had probably 3 or 4 students in the 2 sections that were having some trouble with anxiety and getting things done, and a couple people lost friends to suicide, and just some other things that was going on in their life. Now we have the COVID-19, of course, that is impacting our lives. So off we go. But Mo, thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate that, Deb. And, you know, we know that college students are experiencing a lot of things right now. So today my talk is going to have several different pieces, and it may relate to things for you personally, or maybe some of your friends. So if you have questions as we go along, I'm more than open to answer. And talking with Deb, I was trying to figure out how to make it more of a dialogue so I don't put you to sleep. But we'll just give it a shot. And the first part is going to kind of be my pre-COVID slides, okay? When the world was what I would call normal and so forth. So I've shared it. Hopefully, can you all see the first slide on your screens? Give me a thumbs up.
Yep.
All right. Lena, thumbs up. Okay. All right. So thank you. My name is Mona, as Deb said, and I am the executive director for a local nonprofit. How many of you have heard of NAMI before? Okay, Deb, good. I'm glad you remembered Deb.
Well, one of my CEOs that I worked for at Tanager Place, is on the board, I believe. Is that correct? Okpara?
Laura just rotated off.
Okay,
But
okay.
great guy.
Yes.
Really great guy. So, Lena, you haven't heard of it before either? No, and Ariel and Shay. So, okay. Well, you can see on the slide, it's called the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and this is the Lynn County chapter. And we are part of one of the largest organizations for mental illness, and obviously there's a national chapter too that we all belong to. Uh, in addition to being the director, I also do a couple of other things. I have been a psychologist for many years and worked at a lot of facilities in town. If you name it, I probably worked there. I worked at the Abbey Center. I worked at Mercy. I worked at Unity Point. I worked at Cedar Center, on and on and on. So, I've worn a lot of different hats, and I'm also a nurse, a psychiatric nurse. So my passion and my love is mental health. And when I joined the board with NAMI, it was fun and exciting, and they were asking me to be the director, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I retired. I'm going to live the good life and all of that. Anyway, I got bored quickly with retirement. So now I'm the executive director, and every day is a different day for me. So the National Alliance on Mental Illness, our focus obviously is persons with mental illness, their families, significant others, and we are all joined together to try to make a better world, including college students and children, Vietnam veterans. We're all kind of bonded together on mental illness. And I do use the word mental illness. My daughter, she's a marketing guru. And one day she told me, she said, Mom, shh, stop calling it mental illness. Let's call it mental health. And I said, oh, Emily Witters, that's my daughter. I said, that's exactly why we call it mental illness. There's a stigma out there, and people don't want to say that word, mental illness, because it's like, oh, keep it away from me. So, anyway, I will refer to it at different points as mental illness. And, some people, they get it and other people don't. So, anyway, this is me, just telling you a little bit about me. You already know. And again, our mission, we just do a lot of different things. So every day it's a different day. And our biggest focus, in my opinion, is ending stigma and saving lives. So I do feel we make a difference, and we give a voice to people who may not have a voice. So we've got classes and courses, and I love this little video. Have you guys ever seen it before on the Dancing Man? Have you, the YouTube video where the guys, it won't work because I can't get it to load right, but the guy is dancing on the hill, and then all of a sudden somebody looks at him and comes over and joins him. And the two of them are dancing and having a good time. And then all of a sudden, another person comes, and another person comes, and another, and another, and another. And all of a sudden, all these people are just, really having a gay old time out there. So that's where we're going. We are a small group, a small chapter in Cedar Rapids in Lane County, but we are working hard to grow our movement and to be like the Dancing Man, with everybody out there dancing and having a good time and understanding that it's okay to have mental illness. So I'm going to stop talking for a second. And I just wonder if you guys have any comments or any questions before we go on.
How many of you have seen that dancing guy? I said no, but when you showed the picture, I have seen it. Nobody?
I probably have. I don't know, like right now though.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're kind of some kind of celebration. Everybody's just sitting around, and then he gets up and gets going. And so, if you haven't seen it, it's pretty incredible. I'm trying to
It's
think
really
of. There's been something lately that had a group together, and a guy started singing a song that everybody knows, and the whole neighborhood. I mean, he was in like a park, and the whole everybody in the park started singing along with him because it was a song that everybody knew. So kind of that kind of same thing, right, Mona?
Yeah, it, and remember those days when we could all be out together on the hill and and hanging out side by side and having a good time. It doesn't seem possible that in 2 or 3 months we're at such a different point. So anyway, little sadness there and grief about the world as we see it now. So just kind of quickly, we do all different things. Like I said, I actually started last June and we had this in October, and we probably had like close to 200 people, all sorts of senators and representatives and Lynn County supervisors and city officials. What happens is everybody's interested in mental health and mental illness. So it's like a really good time now to talk about mental illness and to use this momentum. So, I know maybe in college, you might feel your voice isn't being heard or isn't powerful, but do you know what? We need you and we need your thoughts on mental illness and trying to figure out how to go forth, because it is your problem, it is our problem, and together we can make it better. So without sounding too cheesy, um, you know, that's kind of going to be my gist. So in this slide, this is Ann Harris Carter, a very renowned businesswoman, and she's sharing her personal experiences with mental illness. So as a very distinguished influential woman, she decided to go public um, and to destigmatize her mental illness. So she spoke at the forum. You can also see this guy here. That's my husband, Dr. Alan Witters. He's a psychiatrist. Now, okay, Psychology 101. I'm going to ask a question and I need a volunteer to answer. What's the difference between a psychiatrist, like my husband, and me, a psychologist? Okay, we're gonna have to do the clock, the D, 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 D. You get about 1 minute. D, D, D.
Isn't it a psychiatrist can prescribe medication and a psychologist can't?
All right, can you guys clap and cheer? We got to Thank you, Emily. Way to go. Very good. And as a psychologist, you're right, I cannot prescribe medications. And I have a PhD. So we come at it from different angles. And most of you probably, this is Dusty Suela. She's a yoga instructor. She's also a native American Indian, and she talked about her battles with substance abuse. And it was, she cried and everybody else cried, and her mother was there and her mother was crying. I mean, it was a very emotional thing. This guy, Tim Boyle, he used to be the voice all over Cedar Rapids, and quickly he has also dealt with his demons, and his were depression and substance abuse, alcohol. He is an alcoholic. And so Tim Boyle, Dusty, and Ann all talked, each one, about their experiences at this forum with many people, and going public for them was a very like brave step, and gave courage to other people to know, hey, mental illness happens to all people of different walks and different talks of life, even the most successful business women, so uh, sometimes we have different stereotypes about mental illness. And if I asked Claire, um, what words come to mind if I say mental illness to you?
Depression, anxiety.
Okay, sure. Those are very, very good, strong words. So you're thinking pathology, sickness. Okay.
Hmm.
How about Ariel? What comes to mind to you on the word mental illness?
Yeah, like anxiety, same thing as Claire.
Okay, all right. Anybody else want to volunteer? I'm going to call on someone if you don't. Lena?
I would say like a mentally tired feeling.
Okay. So
Um,
fatigue.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
like how you feel when you're sick, but like in your head, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Brain problems functioning with your thinking, cognitive. So, how does Hollywood portray mental illness?
Rough.
Deb? I'm calling on Deb, the professor.
Would you say suicides? I mean, the number of suicides.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
they think gory death, you know,
oh,
take
I see.
your life is where it pops up in your mind. So have you guys ever heard of the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yep.
No? Yes? Okay. Um, have you heard of the movie It's a Beautiful Mind?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, sorry, some have, some haven't. But typically, Hollywood sort of portrays mental illness as like crazy, Looney Tunes, dangerous, kind of violent. You know, so you guys obviously are a lot more advanced and have like um, a different perspective. But lots of times when I ask that question, I get a little more negative connotations, crazy, madman, this one flew over the cuckoo's nest with, they had a nurse Ratchet, and people were like in the straight jackets, and locked up, and you don't want anything to do with anybody like that. So those stereotypes are in our society, and we do have to battle them, but you guys are ahead of the curve. Okay, so we've done different projects. You might not know, but this is your Terry Windler. She volunteers with us, and some of my friends are also volunteers. And this is Ashley from Kirkwood. So we put a bunch of gift bags together and took them out to like 250 businesses, and everybody volunteered to make ornaments. Oh my gosh, we had an ornament factory, but it was a fun. Here's a picture of, let's see if it'll go. We sent this letter just thanking people, and I don't know how to get it better, but it says, "Dear friends, we don't want much for Christmas. We just want the person who is reading this to be healthy, happy, and loved." So, and you see down here this logo called Make It Okay. That is a big campaign that we're going to be doing. And you saw it on the library brochure here in the corner. It's this, it's kind of back here. It's sort of this big green banner. And I'll talk a little bit about that, but that's a huge public campaign across the state of Iowa. We were supposed to be launching right in the month of May, with Unity Point being the guinea pig here for their 4,000 employees about making mental health and mental illness okay. But unfortunately, we had to postpone, but we'll get to it eventually. And I do things like I speak and for colleges, similar to talking to you guys. This was at Co-College. So, and Leah came from Iowa State, and I felt like the discussion would be more relevant to the incoming freshmen to hear it from their peer. And they were all glued to their chairs listening. We've had open houses and just different like representatives came, and have helped us. Senator Rob Hogue, House of Representative Molly Donahue. This is outside our buildings where our office normally is. So, we different fun things. And I just want to show you this because this is very near and dear to my heart, Senator Liz Mathis, and they're all signing the stigma-free board. This is Council Member Ashley Van Orney, City Council, I think it's Mayor or President, I think it's Mayor Brad Hart. And, then we also have near and dear Stacy Walker, a House of Representative. So we're all coming together on mental illness and trying to make a change. The news happens to love mental health too. So they're always calling me on all kinds of different stories. This one was on animal hoarding. So I'm like, okay. So I talked on gun violence at our open house. Then I talked on animal hoarding. I'm like, now I'm a specialist. They call me because I'm a specialist on animal hoarding and gun violence. I'm like, oh God, can't you call me on something not quite so dangerous? That's what they want. So, and these were just things, that were going on that they wanted a comment. So we did this at City Hall for Suicide Proclamation, which was really fun. We had a big group there. Here's another picture where, of course, the news has been so generous, and we, had a resource fair. So all the other mental health agencies could share their information for all. And, again, mental illness, we know it's a brain disorder and it affects our lives in different ways. How many of you have taken intro to psychology? Okay. Oh, wow. Me too. So you guys are a little more sophisticated. How about, have you guys taken abnormal psych? No? Okay. Well, it's a pretty fascinating class, I believe, but I'm a little biased. So, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about the difference between mental health and mental illness. But the big point being, it's a common experience. 1 in 5. So we know if you think about your friends or your family and you come up with 10 different names, 2 people are gonna struggle and have some things going on with mental illness. So it's a big deal even here in Lynn County between the hospitals and the city. When they did a survey, it was the #1 overwhelming problem for the people in Lynn County is to improve mental health awareness. And this was like last year, I think that study came out. So These are
Hey.
things about
Mona,
having, yes.
can I interrupt for just a minute?
Yes,
The a major reason that your group is of major importance right now is because the funding has gone down for the mental health institutes like Clarinda and Independence, and there's a real gap. I mean, that you were vital before, but now, and if I can just share at Tanager Place, when I worked there for about 8 months,
thank you.
and they were seeing that the and they just help youth, up to 21. So they were seeing that the people that were coming in that were going to be housed in cottages and they lived there, they were so much more violent than they had been in the past. And this is a majority of them are teenagers. So it's just so much more important now. I wanted to let you know we have 6 minutes in this session before we will go to the next session. So when we get down to about a minute, I will let you know and I'll end the meeting and we'll go on. So give you the floor back. Thank you for
All right.
letting me talk for just a moment.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So these are some of the symptoms that if you or any of your friends, I'll go back to that slide, are kind of having some problems, then we know, don't wait. Early prevention. So these are the things to do. Believe your mind and your body. Try to get some help. Reach out. So for friends or family to intervene, to ask them, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do to help? Let's try to figure out about getting help. And the most important thing is, don't try to be a psychologist yourself. Get them to someone else, or get yourself to someone that's trusted, whether it's, a teacher, a parent, a friend, or even a doctor. So, um, you know, and lots of things here again about stigma and how to help educate other people. I'm just trying to say these are our different resources. Now, on your Mount Mercy student ID, do you have any resources listed for emergency numbers? Do you know? No? No. So in the state of Iowa, they are now requiring high schools, and down to like 12-year-olds on their school ID coming up supposedly this fall. There's going to be a couple of numbers to call if they're having a crisis. I don't know about your counseling center very much, and I'm sorry because we're kind of running out of time here. Maybe Deb, you can talk to us a little bit if you know what services, if someone needs help at Mount Mercy, and how to connect a little bit with that in the next session.
Yeah.
These would you remind us, and
Yes.
I'll kind of talk. These are some of my resources, and then we'll just kind of wrap this one up. Do you guys have any comments, questions at all?
I know when you think about mental illness, like you said, like your daughter said, that seems to be kind of a taboo, or that's not me, put it that way. I think all of us have some of those symptoms. Mo, if you would go back to those symptoms for just a moment, those
Yeah. And I think more of us are experiencing a lot of that. During this pandemic, when we're isolated and we're disconnected, so it is really affecting all of us. So
absolutely.
as you look through this, I've had many more tearful days than I've ever had in my life. And almost like, anxiety with chest pain, kind of feeling, like my chest is heavy, and honestly, sleeping like crap. So, I mean, I just tell myself that I'm okay at, you know, I'm not, I'm functioning, and try to share it and get validation. And I guess I'm a little lucky because I have a psychiatrist. um, you know, still there are, this is an unusual, uncertain time, and we know that we're all adjusting and trying to cope with, you know, the new normal. So, yeah.
I think on
Any
Facebook,
comments?
on Facebook, people keep talking about my clothes are shrinking because they're
Ah,
eating a lot. You know, I mean, you're right next to the refrigerator. You know, so I can't remember how many comments I've had from friends that talk about that. So I think
yeah,
the nice weather has helped a little bit that we're able to get out and do some walking or running or whatever. You know, just going fishing or you know what I mean. Keeping our social distance, of course, but that has been helping. Just some of
yeah.
those things to help us feel better. But again, we still have 3 minutes left, so there's no hurry here. Does anybody else have any comments?
Tick, 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 tick. I'm gonna call on somebody if somebody doesn't volunteer.
Well, it wouldn't be a
Yeah.
bad idea to have them share what they've been doing to cope. How's that sound?
I would love it. First guinea pig, Emily.
So I currently get IV, and so during the time it's been very stressful. I've been taking a lot of baths to try to like just relax and take my mind off of work, and I've been having a lot of like chest pains, and like it's been a rough time for me. So
What you are doing, thank you, Emily, is so essential. My heart goes out to the clerks and the
mhm.
retail people. So thank you. And taking a bath, ditto.
Yeah.
I just took one before this presentation to calm myself down. So, all right, who's next? What yourself?
I have been well trying to focus on my schoolwork and not like dwelling inside all the time since I do my schoolwork inside it's kind of hard not to. But when I can, I like to go for rain rides with my dad and my dog. Sometimes my mom comes too. She's not working. She's a nurse, so it's kind of interesting with her. She works in a clinic, so she's not as exposed, I suppose, but still, it's definitely like taking a toll on her.
Yeah,
But just trying to spend time with family and get outside and enjoy the nicer weather and stuff is what
that's
we've been
great.
doing.
Blessings to your mom. I'm sure you and your dad are worried about her, you know. My husband works at the hospital at Mercy, and I worry he's in the front line. So, yeah. And I'm outside. Beautiful. Great way to cope. So, do we have time for one more, Deb, or are you going to cut us off? Can't hear you. Okay. So, send us a message.